Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and notifications button for all the good stuff we've got coming.
Hi, I'm Cecilia Foreman-Flagg now, and I am in New Jersey. Actually, I'm in the New York metropolitan area. I am in Fanwood, Scotch, New Jersey. I'm about, I don't know, less than an hour from New York City. So that's afforded me some fun, some stress too, but some fun. And my first um, job at the rep was I'm going to say in the mid 90s. I can't remember the year, but I do remember the show. It was um, it was somewhere in between by Craig Pospisil, and it was a world premiere for the Detroit Rep. It was world premiere, and we actually had an event where the playwright and his wife showed up. That is one of my favorite memories from the Detroit Rep because that was my first time being cast on a professional equity stage. And when I auditioned, Bruce, the director, the great Bruce Milan, um, sitting there in the middle of the theater, being intimidating like he would normally do during an audition. I went up there to do my thing, just hoping to not embarrass myself, but I felt so comfortable doing it. And when I was done, we're talking, we're mulling around, and he asked me, "Young lady, what's your name?" And that's it. It was just one show after another. And at that time, I was taking the Detroit Repertory Workshop classes. Having a great time learning the late, great Milford Dean Luster, Mr. Boswell. I was having a great time. And Charlotte Nelson, I believe, was teaching over there as well. I was able to do a show in the Sweet By and By with the late great Dee Andrus. Again, I don't remember the year, mid 90s. And Robert Vogue Williams. It was a lot of fun. I felt like a total like amateur around them, but they made me feel so comfortable. And Bob Williams just kept us laughing the entire time. I did Angels of Lemnos. I loved Angels of Lemnos because that was a cast of many. And I got my first opportunity to work with the great Bernard Owens. And we had a lot of fun. He was playing a challenged young man, and I was playing his challenged girlfriend. And this is one of my favorite stories to tell from the Detroit Rep too, because we had this scene, right? And we were supposed to be, being teenagers in a like cleaning closet or something in the institution where we were staying or working. And Bernard and I were sitting on this couch doing this scene. And Bernard would, every show, every rehearsal, we'd be on the couch. We're supposed to be making out. Bernard is tickling me. He is whispering in my ear. He's blowing in my ear, and he is tickling me. I'm doing the best I can to hold it together. We're supposed to be like romantic and sexy or something. And Bernard, I am cracking up laughing. One time during the rehearsal before we, opened, he says, "Are we supposed to be having relations?" I said, "Bernard, if I need a cigarette when I come off this couch, I think the answer is yes." But I had so much fun with that. And I said, this guy is amazing. But as fun as he was to work with, he's so brilliantly talented. It was a joy and a lesson every time I got to work with him. Well, I got to work with him one more time on the show Yellowman that was directed by Tim Rose, and that went really well for the theater. That was a very popular show. It's just the two of us on stage. We got a lot of accolades from that show. It was almost impossible not to. Something that beautifully written by Dale Orlander Smith, and brilliant work, almost Shakespearean in spots. But Bernard and I were the only people in the show. We each played several characters. And what I say about that show, it was an honor to do. I am forever in debt to the Detroit Repertory for actually thinking I could do that show and putting me up there with the great Bernard Owens, because I couldn't have done that show with anyone else. I'll tell you, I had to totally come out of myself because I was sitting there. I had the best seat in the house because every show, every rehearsal, I'm sitting there watching the great Bernard Owens put it all out there. He's leaving blood and guts and tears and sweat on the stage, I'm laughing, I'm crying, and completely enraptured with the work he was doing. And I would trade that experience for anything in the world. Just being up there with Bernard made me not only a better performer, but a better person, because I'm trying to be like Bernard. Bernard was poetry. Bernard was fabulous. Bernard is fabulous. And, it was he's still one of the best people I've ever met and will always be my friend. And that's the best thing I think that happened to me in the rep. And other than all the other wonderful friends I've made there, also got a chance to do on the show Intimate Apparel, where I got to be on stage with a couple other heroes of mine. Linda Boston, I had always been a fan of hers, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be on stage with Linda Boston. And a new friend that I made, Michelle Wilson, who played Mamie in that same show, actually is in New York. She moved to New York right after that show ended. And then seems I followed her like a year later when I moved from Belleville, Michigan, into Long Island to take a job. But she and I are still sister friends. So I've made lifelong friends. I've become a better person. Detroit Repertory changed the entire trajectory of my life because I had never thought I could actually be an actor and actually get paid for it, and actually people would come and actually see me do it. I never thought that people as talented as Bernard would be okay with being on stage with me. So it's all great. It's all good. And Detroit Repertory is my home theater. That's just the way it is. I will do anything for the Detroit Rep. And I loved the whole thing. I just miss you guys so much because I'm so far away right now. But if I wasn't, I'd be right in there in the middle of everything, causing trouble and going, hey, Bruce, every time I got a chance. I love Bruce Milan, but that's the way we greet each other. Hey, oh, it's you. Hey, I love that. Still love Bruce, still love the Rep. And I'm so grateful.
You've come right back, and I don't know what like I said, if I didn't need to switch
Everyone
every day
drops
before
a
the show.
line. It's gonna happen. It's like all great chefs are gonna break an egg the wrong time, gonna get an eggshell in the cake. Everybody's gonna drop a line. Everybody's gonna live the actor nightmare. It's gonna happen. You just have to roll with it. But
Yeah,
you have to
well,
make
that's
it
what
look
you were great at.
fabulous. And you did.
Yes.
You would make it look fabulous.
Play it off, right? So,
You never,
yeah.
if you ever, I don't think you ever dropped a line. I think you're exaggerating just a tiny, tiny bit, but you were always on point. Rehearsal, performance,
Look at
on.
Leah's face. She was there. She knows. But I would bring it back around. Come on, Leah. Yes.
She knows both of us.
Yeah.
Maybe we better chill.
Oh yeah. 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 Oh yeah.
The Detroit Repertory has given so many opportunities to so many of us who never dreamed that we'd actually get a chance to go on a professional stage, changed many of our lives. And I just the opportunity alone, just the trust and actually selling, allowing some of us, my degree was in computer science. You asked me, no, my degree was in computer science. I absolutely was not, a theater person by education. I just loved it. And I just had the ability to, allow some characters to come to life through me. It was a wonderful blessing to have. But I didn't know that it was something that I would have been able to cultivate and something that would make life so rich And if it weren't for the Detroit Repertory Theater, I probably never would have even had any inkling to do it. If it weren't for those classes that the Detroit Rep does, I wouldn't have had inkling to do it. Incidentally, you guys mentioned Keegan Michael Key. Bernard mentioned Keegan Michael Key a couple of times. I met him at the Detroit Rep. You know, he came to one of the shows. I think it was one of my shows, but he came to one of the shows, and he was with Gary McKenzie, I believe, and we were introduced. Well, this was not significant until fairly recently. Keegan Michael Key did a Broadway show a few years back. I think this one was written by, I want to say, Steve Martin. I'm not sure. Something about a meteor shower, I believe is the name of it. But anyway, a mutual friend of mine came to town, and I went to meet her in New York City. And we went to see his show, and he, of course, was fabulous. He was fabulous. And we got to go backstage to see him, to meet him. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get to see the great Michael Key and his Broadway element. I haven't seen him since we were in Detroit. And do you not know that when we went to his room, our friend Mary Jo Capone introduced him.
Yeah.
He didn't know that, you know, he and I had met before, that Mary Jo had performed with Keegan Michael Key at Second City. So she's introducing us, and he says, nice to meet you. He says, but I believe we've met before. Haven't we met before? I said, oh my God, yes, we have. He said, at the Detroit Repertory, right? He said, I remember you. It's very nice to see you again. Made my whole flipping life. Made my life. I said, this guy is a big star, because I've stars that I've met, that they have this gift for being able to make everyone else feel special. I floated out of that place, took some great selfies with him, and I'll have to email them to you. It was wonderful.
So can I modify that story when I tell it over? Cecilia was almost Cecilia Foreman-Key. That's right. That's right.
That's an idiot. Oh, see, this is why that couch scene was such a challenge, Bernard, because you just cannot. You just cannot.
I mean, I should be on meds probably, but it's all good. It's all good. I can't turn it off.
Awesome. My favorite thing about you. I'm a little, okay, wait a minute. All right, so this, oddly enough, these are my posters from Yellowman. This is, okay, this one.
Right.
Is me with the great Bernard Owens. I wish I could kind of zoom so you could see it better, but Barbara and Bruce were so kind and generous to allow me to have these posters. These are posters that you guys usually hang in the lobby. And I guess they had other copies of them. You know, they had extras, so they let me have these too. And I framed them, you know, this year, and I was trying to repurpose this room. And my girlfriend came out to visit a couple weeks ago, and she hung these for me just perfectly. These are my joy. Me and the great Bernard Owens, and then me when I was saying, please, Lord, please, God, I don't want to be dark and big, or something like that. It was just the lines. And wow, what an honor. What an honor. So this is what the rep means to me. I mean, so important and impactful to my life. I can't even begin to tell you. We could be here all night with me telling rep stories and about the what I didn't get to say was another favorite memory of mine is I was a groupie for the show Camp Logan. I wasn't an official groupie, but I loved the show so much. It had Lynch Travis, Jeff Chastain, a young man named Reggie who sadly passed on. He was a favorite student, like a nephew to the late Milford Dean Luster, but several of these guys on stage, they were so good. And I just kept going to the show, right? I buy a ticket, I go to the show. I saw that show like 3 or 4 times. I saw the show so much that when we came to the end of the run, Jeff and Jeff and Lynch pulled me aside and said, "Oh, so are you going to come up with us to the cast party? Because dang, Cecilia, you came to the show so much. You part of the cast party."
That's awesome.
It's a great show. I
That's
cried.
awesome. Wow.
Yes. I'm just grateful for Bruce and Barbara and the late, great, lovely Dee Andrus. Grateful for counsel. And Michael Joseph. Everybody. Everybody. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I